back. I'm sorry for the long hiatus, but hopefully I will make that up to you. I'm going to be reviewing Hamilton Pro Wrestling's first 1 year anniversary show, Back to School. And I just want to do a special shout out. Thank you, Awesome, for the ticket. Much appreciated. And I hope to be going to more HPW shows in the near future. Okay, so let's get into this card. First match was Tyler Areo facing Logan. Great match, back and forth. A few missteps. One, I think, almost looked very painful to Tyler Areo. But in the end, Tyler Areo did defeat Logan. After that, we had a 6-man match where it was a bunch of the newer people in HPW facing each other. You had none other than Doc Richards taking on Marcus Gold II, taking on Mowgli, taking on Adam Grimm, taking on Grant Grillberly, don't know how to say his name, taking on Damian Black. That match was all over the place. And very enjoyable. Was very impressed with Mowgli. Weird character, but very entertaining to watch. But in the end, Doc Richards picked up the victory. And I believe Doc Richards, after winning that, has put his name in contendership for the HPW Championship, which I'll talk about later on in this film. Then we had the Star Boy, one half of Death Squad, Dylan Daniels, taking on fan favorite Tantrum. Tantrum did give Dylan Daniels a run for his money in the match, but the experience of Dylan Daniels paid off and he picked up the victory. Again, another person that is cemented his name for a possible title shot in the near future. Again, more about that later on. Then we got to the match where I personally am really irate about. And that is Mike Fortie taking on PenDragon in a hair versus mask match. The crowd kind of overshadowed the match, which is kind of disappointing because those two put on a phenomenal show, but the people were trying to get more notice than the wrestlers in this match. But near the end of the match, the ref got knocked out in a very weak ref bump, in my opinion. And PenDragon made the pin, but since there was no ref there to make the 3 count, it continued. This is where I really get pissed off. PenDragon went to go grab a pair of scissors they gave one of the fans earlier in the match to hold on to. But instead of giving him the scissors, she decides to legitimately smack him. I don't know if it was a plant fan or if it was just legit. She actually smacked him. But I did not like that whatsoever. But Fortie came around after that distraction by one of his fans or family members, I don't know. But after that, he had PenDragon tapping out to submission. But again, ref was still out. Could not see the tag. They continued the fight. And then PenDragon hit him with a low blow and got the 1, 2, 3. I was ecstatic. Everyone else was about to kill him in the place, in the hall. But I've seen matches end like that before, and the ref decision stand. But then you had Bill Chase come in, pull the ref aside and say, like, no, this can't be. And then showed him the clips of PenDragon tapping out and then hitting Mike Fortie with the low blow. But failed to show the ref that PenDragon had him beat prior to all that happening, and that one of Mike Forte's fans laid hands on PenDragon. I'm like, are you kidding me? So the ref restarted the match and Fortie won, which is complete bullshit. PenDragon should have won the goddamn match. They mainly just made it so, like, this is a match where they let the fans choose the outcome, I feel like, instead of let the two guys in the ring tell the story. And it felt like it was so against PenDragon, it was unbelievable. And, like, for the fans, I understand you're hyped, you're into the match, but, like, don't overshadow the performance that's happening in the ring. Okay? But that match really ticked me off. I didn't agree with how it ended. And I feel sorry for these two up-and-coming athletes that they had to deal with that. And what would have been so wrong for Mike Fortie to get a bloody haircut? It's not the 80s anymore, man. But I hope the feud continues. It looks like it will be. And hopefully PenDragon can get his revenge on Mike Fortie. So after that match, we had Carless Clarence. Oh, my bad. We had the Careless one, Christopher Clarence, taking on Johnny Deluca. Again, another match where the fans overtook the match. Like, Johnny Deluca has his own fan base, which basically took up one whole side of the audience. And again, I don't condone you cheering or booing your favorite wrestler, but when you overpower the audio system, the people in the ring speak. Like, I could not hear Bill Chase announce the match. I could not hear anything that was happening except for you screaming in my ear. And it makes it uncomfortable for the rest of us trying to watch the match. Like, understand, cheer, great, boo, great, but be respectful to the people around you that want to watch the match. So those two started off looking like it was going to be a great technical match, but then we had some interference in the match from Evan Greenaway and Scumbag Yates. Unfortunately, I could not hear what they had to say when they interfered because of the fans of Deluca. Would not let them speak, or I could not hear them at all. It was just deafening the music, their audio. Like, I could not hear the entrance themes. I could not hear Bill Chase announce the matches or winner of the match. I couldn't hear over the microphone. I could not hear Bill Chase. I could not hear Scumbag Yates over them, which is ridiculous. Like, I, for one, am one to talk. I am quite loud at these events as well, if anyone knows me. But I don't go out of my way to disrupt the match for people trying to watch it. So, we got a tag match out of that with Johnny Deluca and Christopher Clarence teaming against Scumbag Yates and Evan Greenaway. Christopher Clarence and Johnny Deluca won the match, and Scumbag Yates showed a little frustration after the match because he lost, and shoved his partner. And I believe Christopher Clarence has another rivalry in the making with Scumbag Yates. Look, so hey Christopher, you're really piling up the rivalries. First Johnny Iconic, now Scumbag Yates. Ooh. Just shows you how careless you really are. Okay, then we had the match for respect. We had Rip Impact taking on returning for one night only Ricky Stardust. Yes, Ricky Stardust did retire, brought his family there to watch the match. Those two did a phenomenal job. Ricky showed that he can still hang, and Rip Impact showed us why he is the sensei, why he is the one that's training all these people at HPW. And Rip Impact did pick up the victory, but in a moment that would make anyone a feel-good moment for anyone. Ricky Stardust's daughter, I believe it was his daughter. Like during the match, she was in tears. Like she did not want to see her daddy lose. But in a very heartwarming moment, and if you didn't cheer for this, you are really cold-blooded. Ricky and his daughter embraced in the ring and had one final hurrah for Ricky Stardust, which I gotta give him complete props to doing that. And it was a great way to end his career. And like all legends, you finish career on your back, which means you take the pinfall. So I gotta give it props to Ricky Stardust and congrats to Rip Impact for the victory. Then we go to our 2 title matches. Yes, HPW will now have championships. First one was for the HPW Tag Team Championship, where you had the wannabe Shield, Stormforce, taking on Ronchee Nuts. Just came back from their time at All In. And it was reported that Empire was going to be a part of this match, but because they're too chicken to face more than one team at a time, they say, oh, we'll fight on our terms. So from behind and without warning. So we had a great match between the two. Got kind of a little carried out of hand. So it makes you want to think that this was a no disqualifications match because there was not many tags and fighting went all over the hall in the main room. So, and like the use of chairs and interference by meat and so forth. So it makes you kind of feel like it was a no disqualifications match. So, but in the end, your new HPW Tag Team Champions, Ronchee Nuts. Congrats on them, and I hope they have a very long title reign and they defend those titles with honor. And if Empire ever decides to come back and be the men that they say they are, faces them face to face instead of attacks them from behind, which I feel like that's how Empire does their stuff, because they know they can't handle jack shit when it's face to face, plain and simple. And then after that match, 2/3 of the audience left before the main event even started, which I found kind of disrespectful from the fans. It's like, you pay to come see the event, to support these athletes, and then you walk out before the main event. I understand you don't want to see it, like you might not be interested in every match of the card, but at least show your respect to these athletes that are going in there, putting their bodies on the line to put on a show for you. The least you could do is stay and watch the fight, the match. Okay, but your main event. Cory Stone taking on the heavyweight Jake Jones. Bulk of the match, Jake Jones was kicking the ever-loving shit out of Cory Stone until Jake Jones hit his shoulder towards the steel ring post, which then Cory Stone started taking advantage of. But Jake Jones powered through all that and then went back to kicking the ever-loving crap out of Cory Stone. And it was a very good match, but then again, the ref gets knocked out. Weak ref bump again, because Cory Stone went for a super kick, missed Jake Jones and hit the ref, but as he was hitting the ref with it, the foot skimmed the top of Jake Jones' head. So it was kind of like, not the best ref bump I've seen. So the ref was out. Cory Stone, because he knew he could not beat Jake Jones legitimately, decided to start taking off the turnbuckle pads to expose the steel underneath. And he did that for the one closest to where I was sitting, and then went to the one across the ring. They continued to fight. Ended up bashing Jake Jones' head into the exposed turnbuckle. Ref finally came to, saw that it was clearly not covered, saw Jake Jones bleeding. Instead of calling for the immediate disqualification of Cory Stone, he let the match continue, where Cory Stone picked up the victory and became your HPW champion. Whoop-de-f***ing-do. And I did not care for how he won the match. I don't think he didn't impress me that much to become the champion. And now, due to the stipulation of the match, that's it for Jake Jones. He is out of HPW, which I felt like having Jake Jones being the champion would elevate HPW by making people get to his level. So when you became HPW champion, you were ready to graduate. But no, they gave it to I feel upset, I'm evil. Your generic bad guy number one layout, Cory Stone. So, after the match, Cory Stone again showed us how much of a real man he is and attacked a half-conscious Jake Jones, which caused Dylan Daniels, who was sitting in the audience watching, to come in, Dylan Daniels, come in and make the save. And Jake Jones, being the man of his word, says he will no longer be at HPW, which kind of sucks. But, like I said, with Dylan's win against Tantrum and then doing that and giving Jake Jones his seal of approval, I think Dylan Daniels will be your new #1 contender for the HPW Championship with Doc Richards right behind him. So that's HPW. A lot good happened there. It might have sounded like I was ragging on HPW. I am not. I enjoyed it. I just didn't enjoy some of the stuff that went on there. But other than that, it was very good wrestling. Great to see these up-and-coming stars. And I hopefully get to see him in Alpha 1 Wrestling, in Smash Wrestling, in New School Wrestling, in Destiny, in Super Kicked, in so forth and so forth. Hope to see him around the city and around in Southern Ontario at various other leagues, because these guys are the future of independent wrestling in Southern Ontario. So that's it for now. Stay tuned. Follow Hamilton Pro Wrestling on Facebook to see when their next event will happen. You can follow me at Ty Coles on YouTube, at Ty_Guy1988 on Twitter, and if you feel like it, Ty Coles88 on Instagram. Also, don't forget to follow the rest of the TyCin Papi production members, Brian and Cindy. Their links will be in the description, as well at the end of this video. And for any future videos that feature all three of us, please subscribe to TyCin Papi Productions on YouTube, where we will be making our hype videos as per usual. And hopefully our next one, I haven't talked to him in a while, but hopefully our next one will be talking about Alpha 1, Another Long Halloween. This is Tyler. Peace out.